everybody, and welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Oh boy, I got so many comic books to talk about this week, and of course comic book news, because we don't just talk about the comic books, we talk about the things that are happening in the comic book world and bring it to you here on this live show on ComicPop Returns, which just hit, well, not just, like maybe a few days ago, 30,000 subscribers.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, it feels really nice.
Yay.
I was like, all right, 30K, that's not bad at all. All right.
That's great.
Means you like us. Means at least a significant amount of you dig this show. That's the show that comes out the most consistently on this channel. And so we thank you. We want to thank you so much for being here and subscribing.
Absolutely.
And of course, subscribing is only half the battle. You got to click that bell for notifications and make sure that you hit the thumbs up on these videos.
It's a one-time multi-step process.
It really is so stupid. I'm sorry that we have to make you do it, but we do appreciate it when you do. That way you know when we're going live. Like now, we should also mention that, speaking of going live, you know, if you are a fan or at least an avid watcher of this channel, then you might have caught the latest episode of All Stars, which is a podcast about comic books and the comic book world through the lens of one of comic book world's own creators. Joshua Williamson, writer of Dark Crisis and current author of Superman, is a co-host on this channel, which is hard to believe, just because of the level of cachet that he carries. But I'm excited to announce that Josh and I are going to go live on a brand new live October-themed episode on October 11th. That is a Friday, around 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All this will be in a little like fun graphic that I've made, which is going to be our October schedule rundown, which is because there's a bunch of things happening in October for ComicPop.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure you don't miss a minute
100%
of all of that. That includes, of course, our live shows of Off the Rack here on Monday evenings around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, so this, Wednesday the 9th, October 9th, which is next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator debuts alongside things like Absolute Batman. That's right. My backup in the Terminator book, written by Declan Shalvey with art by Luke Sparrow, along with my backup, which is written by me with art by Colin Craker, will be dropping in your local comic book store on October 9th. So if you are interested, if you didn't pre-order it, you can always just go to your comic book store and pick it up. I would love for all the comic book stores to run out of copies and have to order more. And I would especially love those comic book stores to tell Dynamite that it's because of us. But in any case, I do appreciate anybody who picks up a copy. But if you are in the New Jersey area, more specifically the North New Jersey area, there's a special situation you can be in which I will describe now. So Zap Comics in Wayne, New Jersey, New Jersey, not the Manalapan, but rather Wayne, New Jersey, is having a special signing where I'll be on hand on the debut of Terminator #1. So October 9th, Wednesday, I'm going to be at Zap Comics between 5 and 7 p.m. to autograph copies and generally take pictures and say hi. So if you would like to hang out for a few minutes, swing on by Zap Comics in Wayne, New Jersey, and pick up a copy of Terminator between 5 and 7 p.m. I'll be there on hand to sign copies, take selfies and whatnot. But also, you're going to be there at a terrific comic book store, which has amazing amounts of back issues, some really fun, well-priced wall books, and a ton of action figures and toys. I highly recommend you check that out. And if you're in New Jersey, swing by. If you are not, I completely understand. Also, my parents are going to be there, I think.
They're at least stop by.
I appreciate them wanting to do that. They're going to stop by, but they might want to take me out. If that's the case, I'm going to take them out. So I can't hang out after the show, but I'm happy to say that I'll be there between 5 and 7 p.m. to sign autographs.
I think that's so nice.
I think it is too. Little flashback to when I was alone on the show, just sipping.
Oh, right.
Sipping. And
because it was quiet for a second. I thought you were going to say something, so I was like, "Oh, okay."
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I got to make sure I fill the void. There can't be silence.
No, there's no silence. So yeah, that's happening. And then on this channel, the following week on Friday, October 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, Josh and I are going to go live with a live episode of All Stars. Tons of information is going to be dropped there. You're going to see exclusive video from Skybound about the upcoming Energon Universe announcements, and a bevy of surprise guests are going to be there. There's so many surprises. I don't even know who's going to be there besides me and Josh.
I love it.
I did attempt to squeeze a guest who was very kind, and you'll see him tomorrow on an episode of Elseworlds Exchange. That's right. Tom King has returned to the channel, and so Tom will be back in an exclusive episode of Elseworlds where it's just me and Tom just talking at each other for like an hour and 40 minutes. And afterwards I was like, hey, and he's like, yeah, no, Josh told me. I told him that I might be able to go, but he's also literally flying between DC and Los Angeles every weekend. And he has for the last like 3 months. And it's just, I can't imagine how that's sustainable. So I hope that he's doing well. And I do not want to add another like pile of work for him.
Yeah, totally get it.
Yes, my best friend whom I chat with all the time, as was the case in our short on ComicPop Prime, youtube.com/ComicPop. And finally, last order of business, besides the fact that we're going to be at New York Comic Con, and there's going to be 2 ComicPop meet and greets, the first of which is going to be on Friday, the second of which will be on Saturday. It'll be different teams of ComicPop to meet. So you get to meet the trio of boys on Friday, you get to meet Tiffany and me on Thursday and Saturday.
Yes.
And maybe one of the other boys.
I can't be there.
You can't be there Friday. But that, like, I understand.
It's fine.
But
it's fine. Trust me. You're there for the Ben and the Ethan. I get it.
They're
like unicorns.
On this channel.
You never know
when they're going to appear.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they're like, oh, is that them?
But we
especially Ethan.
Well, that happened actually. We were out of town recently, a few of us, and Ben was alone, away from us, and an audience member recognized him.
What? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, an audience member recognized Ben at I want to say it was Texas Roadhouse. And he was like, hey, I'm sorry, but are you Ben from ComicPop? And Ben's like, yes, I am. And all the people in attendance were excited for that moment. And I really appreciate that. And I encourage you to do that, by the way.
That's amazing.
If you see Ben or Ethan in the wild, definitely stop them. Definitely ask them if they are Ben or Ethan from ComicPop. And then definitely tell them that you love them and that you don't want them to ever quit the channel.
Yeah.
But also, if you see Tiffany, definitely say hi. But yeah, so that happened.
And don't be offended when I'm like,
yeah, when you're like,
yeah,
it happens to me too. I'm like, yeah,
it's not like
you, like not you. It's more like I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, like I can't believe someone wants to talk to me.
Also, I'm sad to say, Ben and Ethan are moving out of each other's homes.
I know.
They will no longer be roommates, and that means the original ComicPop couch, the original tan couch, is going in a dumpster. So that's the end of the couch.
I forgot
it was
we even
nice.
Had that like on there. That This is like the orange couch has technically been the 3rd couch.
Yeah, no, we have the tan couch, the red couch, and the orange couch.
And there's been talks lately.
Yeah, about retiring the orange couch.
About the orange couch's future.
Yeah, but I thought about like maybe putting the tan couch up for auction.
That's weird.
But I feel like no one would want that, especially because it's like a
10-year-old
couch, and
it's like old.
It's got a lot. But like, listen, Ben and Ethan and my asses have been sitting on that thing for years. Ethan and Ben's more substantially. And I should warn you, though, it is not a fold out, because when we had Jason, occasional co-host in this channel on ComicPop Prime, come visit for our wedding.
Yeah, no, it was for your bachelor party, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, it was for everything.
Yeah, but it was definitely for that because it was a surprise. So you didn't know he was here.
Yeah, no.
So he had to stay with Ethan and Ben.
With Ethan and Ben. And Ben was like, no problem. We got a couch. It folds out. And then he just picked up the cushions and was like, oh, no, it doesn't. It's just a couch. We got it from Sal. It was the ComicPop couch. So yeah, but I assume nobody's gonna want that. I was gonna actually put it up on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that, or just make it available. But I'm like, no, I don't want to make anybody have to come out here and then feel like they have to keep it. There's no reason for that. I don't want to keep it, so why should you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's happening. Also, our pals over at Dynamite Entertainment have a swell Kickstarter going on. It's wrapping up in 25 days. It has already been funded. It originally wanted, I think, $19,840. They're up to $183,953. So it is fully funded, but there are still plenty of options, tiers that you can subscribe to on this Kickstarter. It is a 40th anniversary Transformers original G1 Deluxe Ultra Premium trading card set.
What?
So if you're a trading card aficionado, if you love Transformers G1, and I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit of a sucker for this because I'm not the world's biggest Transformers fan, unless of course it's written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. But I am a sucker for G1 original art. And I love the designs of the Transformers. Shockwave is my favorite, but I do love, Soundwave and how everybody looks. It's just really cool, and they had this really amazing like sheen and color and just this design that is so cemented in the time. And that and many other different versions of the Transformers for 40 years are represented in this trading card set, and I want to just make it available. So it is in the pinned comment in the chat right now, and if you're watching the show after the fact, it is the pinned comment in this episode. So if you go to the comment section, you can just go right ahead and check out this Kickstarter and see if it's right for you. See if this is an interesting situation that you want to involve yourself in. If you'd like some cool Transformers 40th anniversary G1 cards, I say go for it, because I'm going to be subscribing to this one as well. I haven't yet, but I want to, because I remember this being kind of proprietary. I remember like the team at Dynamite was like, hey, this is embargo, don't talk about it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, great. When it is, I want to like talk about it because I really want these cards. Like, I think they're cool. But yeah, there's a bunch of different tiers. Obviously, like you can pledge to get like the uncut sheet, or an uncut sheet of cards, which is basically just like when they make trading cards, they make like a page.
So it's like a poster.
It's like a poster, but of all the these different cards.
How big is it?
I believe it's 11 by 17, so you can actually frame it and put it up in your office or house. They also have metal card exclusive sets. Those are of course like actual cards made of metal. They're fun. You can get the trading card binder, special binder with like exclusive original, original, not like capital O, like original from the time art on it. And of course, drawn sketch cards are 5x7s. You can pick those up. A signed uncut sheet and more. Like, there's tons of different rewards, but check it out if it's right for you. The tiers are pretty reasonable, and also the rewards are dope. And I'm gonna get some of these because I like them. Just think they're cool. And
so you're telling me there's some Transformers in my future.
I think you will be seeing some Transformers in your future. Ultra Magnus will appear in your lifetime. Also, hopefully Unicron. But yeah, this is cool, and I'm a sucker for that art. I have the original, like I have this beautiful Transformers G1 like book of like merchandise art.
Okay,
just so cool. I don't know why. I don't know. It might be nostalgia, but I don't really have a lot of nostalgia for Transformers.
Okay,
but like just that coloration.
Sure. All
so
right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the song. Pick it up. But yeah, that's it. Just so Dynamite's doing that.
All right, that's fantastic.
All right, comic books.
Is there any other news?
We should mention this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can subscribe and sponsor to this show. Yeah, you can sponsor the show by using super chats. Ask a question or comment, read it here on the show. Yes, there is some news. So we talked about Dan Didio not too long ago and how he quashed any and all Marvel DC crossovers, even though. Yeah, no, it was Dan Didio because, so I'd always heard that Joe Quesada said some really unkind and really messed up stuff about DC Comics and specifically Paul Levitz. And Paul Levitz said, as long as he works there, we will never cross over. And then they still managed to get JLA Avengers out. But Didio apparently was the reason why Marvel and DC never continued to do any crossovers after Paul Levitz was gone.
Okay.
We have this really fun Alex Ross art book. And in it showcases a couple of pages, maybe one, of Superman fighting Darth Vader. This iconic image of Superman grabbing Vader's lightsaber blade.
Right. That
wasn't just something that Alex Ross thought was cool. That was part of a planned and coordinated DC Star Wars crossover that writer Kurt Busiek brokered and brought on a silver platter to DC Comics. And Didio said no. That Didio hates crossovers. According to this story, which of course is available on Popverse of all places, and I'll put a link in it in the chat below. Dan Didio quote said, "The creator came on board, got really angry because he brokered the deal and brought it to us. I just didn't care or want to do it at that time because it didn't make sense." His argument was that I was brought a DC Universe and Star Wars crossover. There was fighting over what you could do and couldn't do, who gets the better shot, who gets the hero moment. It wasn't worth it. Honestly, it just wasn't worth it. Can you imagine in today's world thinking that a Star Wars DC crossover?
Well, when was that?
Like, it's got to be 2006, 2008.
Okay.
Like, you got to be nuts. Batman versus Boba Fett. I mean, and that's just a pitch. That's not even what they had on the table. Like, no, man. You know, it wasn't worth it. Countdown wasn't worth it.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah. I am crushed. And what's funny is, I'm outraged by the Marvel DC crossovers being robbed from us, that we're like, oh man, we haven't gotten those. What the hell?
Yeah.
I'm crestfallen by the Star Wars DC Comics crossover being quashed by one unilateral person just going, nay. Like just getting the notes from Star Wars being like, no, shouldn't Luke win, or shouldn't Vader, I mean, and in the end, the reality is yes. The answer is yes. Just yes. It's okay. You could have Batman beat Boba Fett because Batman outsells Boba Fett. That's one in your column, right? Superman versus Vader, Superman wins. You could get away with that. And that was pre-Disney acquisitions of both Marvel and Star Wars. So I mean, you had no red tape.
So okay.
Virtually no red tape.
Can I just I'm not saying no, but I am saying it's not my first thought.
No, it would not be my first thought either.
And
I wasn't like, oh man, Superman versus Darth Vader. I've always wanted to see that. No,
right.
I've never even considered it.
Because and then I was like, for a minute, I was like, well, I mean, I was okay with the Batman crossing over, Batman crossing over with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I'm like, but in both of those universes, there's a New York.
Yes.
Like that's what's so weird about.
Yeah, but there's
crossover.
A multiverse in DC.
I know, but you know what I mean? Like this just it's kind of weird.
It's odd. It's not my first pick.
It's kind of weird.
It's a little weird. I would say the same thing about Marvel meeting the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
But
it's a little weird.
I want it. Like I want it so bad. And I know we'll never get it because now Marvel owns Star Wars.
Right.
And so that's just it. You'll never see it ever. You'll never see it ever. Not even never again. And I have to assume
it's really sad because it clearly never even got to there were definitely not multiple pitches.
No, well, the pitch I think was that Kurt Busiek was going to write it, and I guess someone was going to draw it. I mean, I can imagine Alex Ross being like, "Yeah, I'm on board for that." But of course, we also were robbed of things like the JLA Transformers crossover, which also I have to assume now, based on this context, was also crushed by Dan Didio. But but this could still happen. The only thing is Robert Kirkman's in charge of Skybound, and there's no way.
Didn't they just do that universe where the JLA was? Or
the DC Mechs.
Yeah, just cross over with that. It doesn't matter.
That ain't the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Do you see Optimus Prime wielding a Green Lantern ring? Because that's also here. I mean, these are the things. I would like to see that. And I think it would be better than the New Avengers Transformers.
I love how that, and there's nothing wrong with it because I'll clap my hands and whatever when it happens, but it's that's the go-to. If you're writing the crossover for anything that involves a Green Lantern, someone else has to have the ring.
Yes,
that's just the go-to.
Yes.
There's just nothing else to do.
Of course,
a Flash is gonna run.
Yeah,
Superman's gonna rally.
Yeah,
and Green Lantern, someone else is getting the ring.
Yeah, someone else would get the Green Lantern ring. That's right. Well, you know that from your experience with the
I know.
Well, I mean, Planet of the Apes Green Lantern, which is an actual crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Star Trek Green Lantern.
Someone gets the ring.
Oh, everyone gets a ring.
I know,
because they did the Spectrum. So yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just that's the thing to do. Mm-hmm. That's the thing to do.
Yeah. Which is why Marvel should try to do it first. Do an Energon Universe, Marvel Universe crossover so we could see Optimus Prime wield Mjolnir. I'm not used to this kind of low-tech technology, but any port in a storm.
Does Mjolnir get bigger depending on who's holding it?
Why not?
Because then it'd just be like,
yeah, he's like, oh no,
better be careful.
Yeah. I don't want to break it. Thor's like, please.
Try it.
Anyway, that's that was some
honestly
news.
The Energon Universe Marvel thing really writes itself with between Tony Stark being there and him just being taking notes.
Oh yeah, about no, I'm gonna build all of you. Especially you with the cassette tape. But yeah, I'm just like, ugh, you wound me, Didio. And I like him being like, well, I haven't worked there in a while. Here's all my dirty laundry. And I'm like, he was on the show. We've had Dan Didio on the show. Yeah, I didn't know he had all this stuff hidden behind him.
There may have been an NDA of some sort.
Easily was. Yeah.
And it could just be that it's up now and he's like, screw it.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I mean,
I don't know. I really don't know. But like oftentimes people in certain industries have NDAs.
Yeah. It's funny because like that's what the job is of someone in Dan Didio's position when he was working at DC. You take the hits. You provide the shield against your creators. But like, what are you doing now? Like, why are you still taking the hits?
Sorry, now I'm thinking about the Marvel Transformers thing again and like pulling Galactus in or something.
Yeah, Unicron and Galactus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Right? You could do that. I mean, I know. It's too great. Anyway, some new comics came out. I didn't get a chance to actually look at the Red Band edition, but I did pick up Wolverine Revenge #2.
Okay.
Hickman, Capullo. I don't know. Honestly, I've been kind of like lukewarm on Hickman's portrayal of Wolverine. At the very least,
in general,
I found, Hickman's portrayal of Wolverine is rather reserved. Not that Wolverine's reserved, but Hickman has not unleashed Wolverine.
Well, it's not called Wolverine Unleashed.
No, it's true. But I'm saying Hickman rarely unleashes Wolverine. Whenever he uses Wolverine and writes for him, Wolverine is doing some Wolverine things. But it seems like a kind of like reticent, almost condescending use of Wolverine, where he's like, I know everybody likes Wolverine, but I gotta tell you, I'm more of a magic guy. Like I don't really care about Wolverine. So here's a weird, like that Marvel Unlimited Wolverine, webtoons-esque scrolling comic that they made that Hickman wrote. And it's like, all right, but this is what I've been looking for.
Oh, really?
Because Hickman,
I did not know where this was going.
Because Hickman has written for Wolverine, both in continuity and outside continuity.
Yes.
And for the life of me, I've been like, where is bringing the Wolverine? This is the book. And the first issue in particular was kind of like mostly a greatest hits. Like, here's a bunch of characters that Wolverine can team up with, and then they all die. This issue is like, all right, we're getting to the revenge part of Wolverine. Revenge.
Right.
And it's like,
title.
Yeah, and Hickman is a smarty. He knows, he set up the bad guys in the first place. Here's a gauntlet of Wolverine characters that'll be fun and awesome to watch him fight. Also, thanks Brevoort for the Red Band option. So now Capullo can be unleashed as well, and he can draw he can draw the epic Sabretooth Wolverine fight. Ben Percy famously did the largest Sabretooth Wolverine comics event in recent years, and not that it was bad, but it felt like it could have gone farther, especially with all the not that Sabretooth didn't go far enough, but like the Sabretooth versus Wolverine part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we get a Sabretooth versus Wolverine fight like the 90s wanted to give you, but with unrated options, with Greg Capullo and 20 years of Batman under his belt. Oh yeah. That's what I'm here for. Okay. And it's so big, it gets finished in the next issue. So issue 3 is going to wrap up the Wolverine Sabretooth fight that starts in this book.
Oh, I thought you meant like this. I was like, what? The series is only 3 issues? No, okay.
No, but Wolverine also, and he kills a bunch of characters, but also, it's gorgeous looking. And it's fun. And Wolverine is just being Wolverine. And basically that's what the book is saying. The book is saying like Wolverine doesn't have a very good excuse to take the kind of bloody revenge that audiences expect him to take like all the time. I guess Hickman's kind of like, I don't want to, it's perverse if he just is always going into a berserker rage, even though in the 90s he was always going into a berserker rage.
It's if you have the option on the table.
That's what I'm saying is the answer's on, and even like the most recent Wolverine book, the in continuity ongoing series that dropped, we saw Wolverine fight classic 90s Wolverine villain Cyber, and it was brutal, but it also felt like a half measure. Cyber has adamantium skin as opposed to Wolverine's adamantium claws. And so in the book, like Wolverine punches his adamantium skin to like break his organs or something. It's just kind of
I mean, like that's really not a great power, actually.
Well, Luke Cage has the same type of thing. It's just not made of adamantium. But yeah, it's fine. But I liked this issue. I was like, this is fun. And it really like delivered on its premise. Alternate reality, dark future. Wolverine's just, I got to kill 4 people. And they're cool.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, the next issue he's gonna fight Colossus, and I'm like, the cover, just full bodied, well proportioned, great line weight Colossus. I don't know. There's something about Capullo's work. Maybe it's the inking. You know, not that it's
Who's doing
Capullo's
the inking
inking.
on it?
You know, it's funny. I don't actually know. I think it's Tim Townsend.
Okay.
And I'm used to Glampian, I think, doing the Batman inks. I like these a little better.
Oh, interesting.
They're a little not they're heavier, but they give the art a little more weight. You know, I like it.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I'm digging this.
Okay.
So, you know, the colors are by FCO Placencia. I don't know who that is, but you know, that notwithstanding, still good, still cool stuff.
Fantastic.
So good for Wolverine.
Okay.
Yeah. Sticking with X-Men, Tiff and I read X-Force number 3.
We did.
Jeffrey Thorne, Marcus Toe, continuing the story of basically Forge has taken up the mantle of like solving problems before they happen in the X-Men world.
Yes.
It feels like and I think we've said this before, but I think it bears repeating if it is being repeated at all. This feels like the most authentic spiritual successor to Krakoa.
I don't know if we've said that necessarily. I said that this felt like the best use of them trying to do something different while still being directly like respectful to what just happened.
Yeah.
You know, like with Krakoa, like so many of the stories were just everything was very connected. Even though you could read them on their own, it was very much like sticking within the narrative of Krakoa. And not that this isn't sticking with the narrative of like people not loving mutants right now.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels like it could be kind of read over here.
Yeah.
You know, it's just them dealing with you know, issues throughout the world, like by being fed by something that Forge helped to create, right?
Yeah. And you know what it is?
Yeah.
I think it feels like a Hickman book.
Yeah, I could see that. I just like the fact that it feels there is something about this that feels, hear me out.
Yeah.
It feels a little like the animated series because it's episodic.
It is episodic.
Like each issue so far has been like we're going to a place, we're dealing with something, but we're learning about like the overall story.
Yeah.
A little bit in each issue.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, now we're gonna go deal with this. Now we're gonna like this feels episodic, but in a really good way.
But of course, it also will follow and adhere to the like trade paperback format where like, there's an underlying story going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like the X-Men series during Krakoa, where it was like every issue of X-Men was like, here's the premier team. They're going to solve a problem.
Yes.
They solve it within the issue or pretty much around it. And then they move on to the next thing, except that these guys are behind the scenes. And so they're not trying to be flashy. And so, you know, there's some twists and turns. Like it's smart and it's fun. And I'm glad it came here because it would have felt a little bit redundant during Krakoa because there were already plenty of teams trying to solve problems before they start.
Definitely. And X-Force had a different role at that
time.
point. But it is fun to have like, you know, at least one person who was on the old X-Force to be like, okay, we got to do things differently for sure.
Totally.
This issue in particular, I felt like they were like, you know, Thorne's starting to like sneak in some like possible strife issues going forward.
Not capital S strife.
No, sorry. We're talking about X-Men, so that is a fair thing to point out. Sorry. I think that's
especially with all the 90s logos that are falling out of the sky.
Yes. Some contentious points between characters.
This is the first issue that I got I was like, are Rachel and Betsy together? I didn't get that.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Not that I was like, you know, trying to be blind about it, but I was like, this is a little more overt. And I was kind of like, I don't remember that. Like I never thought about it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That's more recent development, but yes. But yeah, you've seen a little like between the two of them, obviously something's up with Rachel and her power set. You know, Sage is being let in on what Forge has got going on with the ball and all that. we re-established the fact that, you know, he has a side blocker on, so no one can read what's going on in Forge's mind. And that like Forge to me is not like trying to be malicious or maniacal here. It feels like he definitely just thinks he's doing the right thing.
Right. No.
And then, you know, we have the mystery of Tank, which that just keeps being brought up. Which I'm like, okay, I'm kind of interested. Like,
I guess I didn't really care about who Tank was, but now I'm kind of like, okay, so I'm supposed to care.
I'm supposed to care, and I am interested, but I like that it's not the focus.
No,
it's just something that's probably going to come out. And I'm like, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then of course we have Surge, and I like the fact that she's a younger character, and like we get a little bit of like her younger ideology,
her naivete, and
and I appreciate it being called out in the guise of what we all know about the X-Men just in general. And it's like, it's so true. It's like a lot of the X characters, it's like they all start out like that.
Yeah.
But inevitably the world shows them that's not how it really is.
Yeah.
Like that Xavier's like thing is like, no, we're good.
Yeah. The world is black and white.
Yeah.
and you discover the shades of gray.
Yeah.
Which also allows you to have your own perspective. Like it was nice to hear, I guess, the narrator in Forge.
Yeah, I think it's Forge.
Give Xavier his flowers.
Right. Well, give him his flowers, but also like allow you, the reader,
yes,
to take that as you will. Because I definitely took it as, you know, from the perspective of an adult or older figure, knowing that the best way for someone to find out, unfortunately, is to go through it. Like he could tell them all the shades of gray that they'd run into, but
it wouldn't prepare them.
It doesn't prepare them. And it's not the same impact.
Now I have a theory about the ball.
Okay, you got a theory.
Do you have a theory about the ball?
No.
I think it's a mini Cerebro, and I think Xavier is communicating with Forge, and that's why there's a side locker.
Oh, interesting.
I think the Forge and Xavier working together, and then actually it doesn't do anything except communicate with Forge. And that Forge is able to, like, Xavier's using his powers to like find out problems in the world.
Interesting.
And he's just like, I can't do anything. I can't be effective, but I can work with Forge.
I don't know. That's interesting because
like
but they're definitely talking about these like breaks, right? And like it is acting like they're like, you know, the magical ley line idea has come up here before, right? And you know, if you watched our episode of back issues on Into Shambhala, you'd have a little bit more backup on with ley lines. So I definitely didn't think it was connected to Xavier. I thought it was definitely something else.
Yeah.
Like, you know, mechanically speaking, like doing, but I don't think the ball is good.
No, it can't be good. No, I mean, it's just so innocuous. It has to be sinister. But also I'm digging the approach. Like I like Forge's proactiveness. I like the fact that it is Forge. And I like the team, and I like how Forge is portrayed as a leader. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, also the villain or the antagonist, the plot device that they have with Nuclo is fun because it's a classic like reference to, you know, a character that is established in the past. I really appreciate the editor's notes that actually tell you when and where you've seen Nuclo before and in what state you've seen him in. I think that's probably most important because it's like you need to know the inner workings of Nuclo in order to like care. Yeah,
to care about him,
what happens to him or what he's up to,
and to care about other characters' reactions to what they're.
I wish more writers / editors did that.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So yeah, it was fun. It was a fun issue.
It is.
It continues to be just a strong book that is fun to read and
I mean,
works within the world.
The fact is, issue 4 has, it looks like Nuclo's on there, so we're going to be wrapping that up. But also Man-Thing is there, and I'm like so excited. I saw that. I was like,
how cool. Yes. Good for Man-Thing.
Yeah, please.
Please
post that. Listen, folks, if you like that R.L. Stein Man-Thing, go for it.
More power to you.
That is not for me. No.
Yep.
No.
I read, of course, Green Arrow number 16, Joshua Williamson, Sean Isaacs, Amunse Nahulpen. This is the I think it's the penultimate issue of Green Arrow before a new writer comes on. Chris Condon is Condon is coming on, but we're getting a Green Arrow book, and I believe also an annual, and you have got to see that annual to believe it. Not that I've seen it, but like I have been told what's coming out.
Can you go to the next issue really quickly for a moment? Has Condon been writing the backups or anything like that?
I haven't seen anything. I think Condon is being brought in on issue 17 to kind of like transition.
From Williamson. Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, great, beautiful cover on the new issue of 17. But yeah, there's an annual. This is going to be, I think, technically Josh Williamson's final full issue, but he's going to wrap up the fallout of Ollie being what he is in Absolute Power, and then you're going to get an annual that's going to be basically like Josh's final word on Ollie. But this issue is a lot of fun. You know, the art's great, story's fun. You know, Ollie's family was under siege, and you know, they went to go like try to free Ollie. Ollie teams up with them to defeat one of Waller's people, Bright here. And we find out that he's from the Crime Syndicate universe. He used to be like a White Lantern, which is in the Crime Syndicate universe, like a, you know, bad. I don't know. All that matters is we watch Ollie and the family team up, fight bad guys, and then Ollie betrays them to Waller. They are sent to Gamora Island, where they will be incarcerated. Of course, Ollie wants his entire family there so they can, turn the tide, because Ollie obviously isn't going to be a bad guy. But it's
and you're not speaking from any sort of insider.
Oh no, I'm just I honestly
just a comic book reader.
I'm just like I live and breathe. My friends, I live and breathe.
Yeah, I really do like that cover. It's really strong.
It is. It's a Phil Hester cover, of course.
But like it's just a classic cover
design. The idea of like, oh, you got a metal guy, so let's see the cast in his reflection.
Yeah, like we get the cast, we get the villain, we get the story being told with the whole thing.
Gorgeous, great art within and without. You should definitely check out the series if you like Absolute Power. Also, things are culminating. Like, you get to see a scene where Black Canary and Zatanna use the shadows to come to the Green Arrow book.
Okay.
They explain, if you need to know how that happened, that was in Superman. Okay. There's some fun stuff in there.
Yeah. All right.
Black Canary went to go do that in the Birds of Prey book, so you can see how they were all connected. But yeah, I liked this Green Arrow series. I'm sad to see Josh go.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But that Annual Man, I can't wait, because I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to say.
All right.
But yeah, Green Arrow is good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I read Zatanna Bring Down the House #4.
Oh yay, good.
This week. I mean, I just can't get enough of this art. This book is just phenomenal.
Yeah. That's Javier Rodriguez on art.
Javier Rodriguez on art. Mariko Tamaki writing this one.
Yes.
Without giving too much away, this issue kind of gives us some backstory about Zatanna and Constantine. Yeah, and their relationship. And I gotta tell you, it's really nice because it shows John not
as a total monster.
Yes.
Just like, oh, this is how John woos women.
Like it's not
always just because he's ruggedly handsome. It's also because there's something about him.
Yeah, well, admittedly, he is sent there to do that.
Oh, jeez.
But she's doing card magic at a party or whatever, and John comes up and says it's going to be pick a card, that type of thing. But I'm not like I will hide your card and find it. Just pick a card and I will present it to you.
Okay.
And there it is, right?
Yeah.
So John says it should be hearts. And she goes oh, okay, it'll be the Queen of Hearts for the trench coat then. And then John points to which card it is, and she turns it over, and it's the Jack of Hearts.
Oh.
And she's like, dang, I got it wrong. And it's just funny because it's no, it's John.
Yeah.
John is the Jack of Hearts, right? Yes. So they meet up. They go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
They sleep together.
Sure.
There's a questionable amount of time that passes, and it's cute because what makes it for me is that essentially John was sent to check in on her because this group that has been after her thought that that she clearly must have magic and must be using it and is a danger and blah 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 blah. And while they were sleeping together, John sees while she's dreaming she is doing magic, but he determines he's you clearly weren't a danger, and so I left. I didn't do what I was there to do.
Right. Yeah.
But when he leaves her a gift.
Okay.
And it's it's a little hat box, right?
Okay.
And he left on her birthday.
Oh.
Right? Which, he's all right, to be fair, because when they run into each other, they also go and sleep with each other again, which I'm just sure, why not? There are a bunch of magical characters in the DC universe, but not that many. So go ahead, why not?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Do it up. But there's a great line that John has about what he leaves her, because he leaves her the top hat. There it is.
Oh, yay.
And then he when he sees her in it later on, he's you're still wearing it. And she's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the note said, love the best boyfriend you'll ever have. And inside of the top of the hat, he put a spell that would hide her. Basically.
Oh.
He's it was a simple thing.
Yeah.
She's I never looked in the top of this thing. He's no one does. So he's just been watching out for her. And so he's back now because it's everything's going to hell. And essentially what's happened was that there was this theory that Zatanna killed her dad,
yes.
Zatara, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then other folks the rabbits have another theory that her dad attempted to do a power transfer and give her his magic.
Yeah.
Turns out really what happened was he took hers.
Oh.
Right? And the spell that he used, essentially, he's become this demon. He's this king of demons.
Okay.
And so now she has a responsibility to go take care of this. But he built like a demon army and he wipes out one of the sides that was after him or after her. And like John's like, we could just leave. We could just go together.
Yeah.
And like I could try to hide you ish. Like it kind of would work. It's actually it's really
work,
sweet. Like John in his
straws.
own like selfish way is like, you don't have to do this.
Right.
Like I could take care of you. But it's not like he has a real solution. It's not like, and I will go fight with you.
No.
He's like, let's just
run away. Let's run forever.
Right. And I'm like, that is a really great insight for Tamaki to like make John be loving and kind, but also selfish.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. That's great.
So I love it. We just see like Zatanna rally and then like we're off to go.
Cool.
And like deal with Zatara.
Yeah. Well,
so,
hey.
like, the art is crazy looking.
Sure. Yeah. No,
like,
it's great.
It's insane. And it's like, if Zatanna was not someone you're super interested in or know a lot about, you don't have to know a lot about her.
No.
You can absolutely just grab the series. It's only on issue, what did I say, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's well worth it. The art is, there's nothing out like there right now that looks like this book.
Yeah.
In a great way. So it's beautiful. It's colorful. It's fun.
It's a Black Label book from DC that doesn't star Batman.
Yeah. Come on, absolutely. And the writing is, it has like a really good flow and like a modern feel. And I really like the way everybody like just talks. It's fun.
Cool.
It's really, really fun.
Yeah.
In fact, like if DC was looking to make like a show, I know you're like too many shows, but an animated show, this was called Black Label, and they just took their Black Label comics and made them into like shows. That'd
be cool.
I'm like, this one would be,
I love that.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, I think you need one more.
Yeah. Let's talk about Flash number 13.
Flash 13 this
week. Written by Simon Spurrier with art by Ramon Perez. I thought there was someone else on this, but it might just be Perez.
Just being versatile.
Yeah, here it is. Teeny tiny. Yep, it's just Ramon Perez on this one. So without going into too much detail on this book, because clearly this is like wrapping up this arc, and like the footnote to this is like, you'll see the Flash family return to absolute power.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they have kind of been off the table. What's been going on? What's been in this Flash book? And you know, that the Speed Force sort of is dying.
Yeah.
It's a lot for me to like, you just have to read it, right? Like you have to read it to find out what's going on. But like, I know not everyone did.
Yeah.
Right. Like not everyone did. And the last time we were talking about this book, I mentioned that it was like, I get why you didn't, but now I don't anymore.
Right.
Right. And that's how I felt. And I still do. This issue is super heroic. And, you know, for all of what people think Spurrier is, that like, you know, he's often like critical and, you know, he's biting and sarcastic. And I feel that way too, but he's also a writer and he's a professional, and he knows that not every character has to be written the exact same way. And so while the series might have started off seemingly going in that route where like we're talking about Wally's like psyche right now, and the fact that Linda has like possibly postpartum, and like the fact that she was like not only like, you know, just had a baby, but also was separated from powers that she had for an amount of time.
Yep.
And that like seemingly like no one has time for Wally anymore, right? That this was all in service of where this story would end up.
Yeah.
Right. Like all of that storytelling at the beginning wasn't to let you know like, hey, this is Spurrier's super dark, gritty, non-fitting style of writing for Flash showing up. It's Spurrier going like, this is definitely like how I tell a story. And yes, I am known for doing this. So this will be written really well. And Tiffany's going to really love all of this stuff for sure. But it's not in service of trying to make Flash fit my style.
Right.
It's more like I'm adapting my style to fit to Flash. And so by the end of this, we end in this like really like super loving, like hopeful place, which I feel like is what a lot of Flash fans are typically looking for when it comes to Flash books.
That is definitely a hallmark of a Flash book.
And so like if what you had been looking for was to watch Wally like rise to the occasion, being surrounded by his friends and family, it turns out Spurrier's run is the run for you. It's just that you have to accept the fact that there is like a certain like trust, right? Which is funny because we were talking about this before we started without me actually getting into anything that happens in this book. The fact that it's like we sit here and we talk about books each week, right? And we're always like, I always encourage you, like, if you're not feeling a book, to drop it, right?
Absolutely.
And so I have a feeling a lot of people ended up doing that, not because I told them to, but because that's just how people tend to shop, right?
Yep.
So where does the line stop? Right? Where is the line in the sand when it comes to I'm dropping this book because I don't like it and I don't want to spend the money on it anymore, which is totally fair.
Yes.
And I should trust the writer.
Yes.
And see where it goes. And I can't figure that out. I can't find that place because like this book, it turns out like was a trust exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you know, I think Spurrier unfortunately is just like not as big a name. I hate to say that because I think Spurrier should be a household name by this point, but I think it's just people didn't know enough of Spurrier's work.
Yeah.
In order to give him their full trust. I compare it similarly to like when Hickman was building up to Secret Wars.
Okay.
Because when I was reading, I mean, obviously that all came out while we were reading comics. And so when Hickman like relaunched New Avengers, I was like, finally it's back.
Right.
And it is not New Avengers. It's something else. And I did not like it. And of course, that was the book that was like, watch the Illuminati destroy planets. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And I was very much against. I didn't like the Avengers book. I didn't like the New Avengers book. I didn't care about the Inquisitors. I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the first arc where like Thor kills that one guy, and that's in every single montage of cool moments by Thor, and it's really cool. Yes, I agree. But it's like it's kind of bleak.
Yeah.
And a little corporate. And I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
And a lot of folk were like, well, but it's Hickman. You gotta trust him.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know Hickman. Like, I didn't read Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what that means.
Right.
Especially when I'm like opening with, all right, fine, I will read it. And Reed Richards' first thing is everything dies.
Right.
Now, obviously, that's part of Hickman's bleakness and his attempt to subvert it by the end. And I won't spoil Secret Wars, even though it's been spoiled for everybody. But like, let's just say Reed learns a lesson too.
Right.
And it's like, so there is, and it is about history, and it is about, it's about like growth and about like getting through the journey to that destination.
Yes.
And like Spurrier did the same thing. And like the ideas you were pitching about this, I'm like, this sounds like, I mean, like, and it's all the things people claim to love about like serialized, interconnected, big two publishing superhero comics. Like there's some Grant Morrison in this book. And when I say book, I mean series. There is some Hickman in here.
Yeah.
You know, there's obviously Spurrier, you know, but it has all those hallmarks that people claim to love.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of big ideas in this that also have a hopeful angle.
Yeah. Right.
Even if it does start out really bleak.
Right. And it's funny because it's like we sit here and we watch as like, you know, a lot of at least our community. So I'm going to go by that, like our community, especially those who are chatting with us live, you know, when it comes to like Spider-Man, right? And like the current run, right? And how people are like in our community are unsatisfied with it. And yet the book continues to sell and to do well because it's just so middling, right? Like it's just, there's just nothing.
Yeah. It doesn't offend.
It's damning. Delight. It's damning because it does nothing.
Yes, exactly.
And you watch though, as like, I don't know how the sales on this are doing. And I'm not going to, you know,
speculate.
I'm not going to speculate on that because I don't know. But if you're the company who's publishing this book and you have a writer who's like taking a big swing, because at the end of the day, he wants to take you on this very distinct journey.
Yes.
That seemingly like to someone who's just reading maybe this writer for the first time, on a character that they know so well, what feels like is these tearing them down.
Yeah.
It's tearing them down to build them back up.
Exactly.
Right. But like if you're watching possibly sales not do as well because of it, do you take that big swing again? Or do you do what the other guys are doing and do something so mid?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like that's like so frustrating, but it's a risk, right?
Yes.
Like telling a story like this is a risk. And I was, as we were talking, my brain was like, this book, hear me out, folks. This is like this is a reference like close to my heart here. This book is like a Bob Ross comic, essentially. It's like a Bob Ross painting, with the philosophy of like, you can't have the light without the darkness, right? Like Bob would often lay down like if he's painting a mountain, he lays down a whole bunch of like darker color, right?
Yes.
And then puts the light on there. He pulls it out. When he's doing trees, when he's doing bushes, you have to get that darker color down there in order to find the distinction with the light. And that's like what Spurrier did with this book.
He laid down the dark.
He laid down this like grim path before us in order to give us this beautiful, hopeful reunification. And it's really incredible. Also, at the end of this, because I'm not super knowledgeable about the Flash, there's like a couple of really wild out there concepts for me that I'm wondering if it will have to do with whatever they're doing next for Flash, whether it be the next like arc that Spurrier is working on, if it's somehow going to tie into whatever is going on with Absolute and All In.
Right.
I don't know. But if you started this book out being like, I'm just going to wait till Spurrier's done. First of all, he's not done. He's
taking over into All In.
But like when I say that this book, especially the last issue to this issue, ended up in such a like wholesome, lovely place, go on the journey. If you're interested at all in the Flash, go grab the trade of this, go check out this journey, because the end of it, I think, is very lovely. And it's actually more of a tribute to Flash than it was ever a teardown.
Absolutely.
So,
well, there you go. Flash. It's a good book.
It is a good book. And it's just really,
and I think, a lot of people were also, I do remember people complaining we're not all in on Deodato Jr.'s art. And it's like, dude, well, Perez came on board and just made it his own book.
Well, also, and I don't know what the choice was there, but that was like during some of the like shift point. Like we were at our darkest, right?
Yeah.
And we had like this art that was grimmier. It was grittier and grim, and like it had a darker feel to it, a more real feel, which I think people weren't looking for.
Yeah.
When it came to their Flash, but Flash is going through a lot of like real problems, essentially.
Yes,
right?
like real, not like superhero, not
but there were also those, and like he wasn't dealing with them. But like it all, when I say it all comes together, trust me. Like, yes, are there going to be concepts in this that seem like way out there, and do I need to reread them sometimes to get it? Yeah, absolutely. And I don't mind being challenged a little bit with that. And I recognize that like some of those concepts or some of like the scientific things that they're talking about, sure, it'd be great if I fully understood them. But if I don't fully understand them, it is not pivotal to the emotion of this comic, because it turns out it's actually more about that.
Yeah, it's more about the feeling the book gives you. But also, I mean, like it does have like specific references to Flash lore. And I guess, I mean, like you didn't at any point really feel like you were alienated as a result of not having like an inside track.
I really didn't. I really did not. Because it's like what I connected with most from this was the human element.
Yeah.
And again, I know we've talked a lot about how like oftentimes DC feels like it's a pantheon of gods.
Yeah.
But
but they are humans.
But they are human. Some of them are in fact humans. Right. And to have Wally go through all of this, to have Wally's like support network go through this, I think it's like emotions that we might, as just regular people, be able to like get.
Yeah.
And it's kind of refreshing
to
watch our heroes go through some of these things and solve them in ways that might be similar to our own, being surrounded by our friends and family. And I was like, that's just cool. So anyway, so there was Flash number 13. I guess I am currently a Flash fan. I have one more.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because I read Namor.
Oh yay, I forgot about Namor, like everyone.
I read Namor number 3. This is 3 of 8, written by Jason Aaron with art by Paul Davidson and Alex Linz.
I forgot about it. I like this book too, so I forgot to read it.
This book is it's great. I really do like this book. I have no idea where we're going with this for Namor, but like Namor, is called back to the sea essentially, even though he's like put himself in exile from it in order to stop what he refers to in this series as World War C.
Yeah.
Because many of the various controlling parties of the ocean are attempting to take up the throne.
Yes.
And a lot of it will cause more damage than good.
Of course.
Kaylani, a character we met in the last issue, like young friend of Namor, inevitable betrayer of Namor, shows up again in this as King Kaylani, who's also looking to take the throne.
Okay.
And she gives like a solid like speech in this about like those who were forgotten and those who were turned away by Atlantis. It's like the Atlanteans are the only water breathers. There were people who didn't share the same gods as they, or like whatever, and like that they were shunned and pushed away, and now it's their turn. And Namor's like, I totally get that, but the way you're going about this is not wrong. Actually helping. Yeah. And like, I'm telling you, like the power of this crown corrupts.
Yes.
And Namor starts talking about the fact that when he was a kid, the voice of Neptune spoke to him.
Oh.
And how it drove him on to be like violent and what have you. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And even now as an adult, like random sea creatures are like, kill them all. He would do it in service of
right. And it's like, is Aaron saying that Namor is crazy?
Not that I don't know, because Kaylani says that she's like, I have to do it in his service.
Heard it too. Yeah. And
it's like,
oh no. That's fun.
It's freaking amazing.
That's awesome. because that falls right in line with the Marvel gods pantheon of being selfish assholes. Like, what if Poseidon is real?
Yeah.
And he's just as much of a dick as Khonshu.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, I see moon guys and daredevils and stuff running around the surface. No one's doing what I want.
Yeah.
And the idea of like Neptune being portrayed as like an octopus.
He just speaks through
he speaks through the sea creatures.
He speaks through the sea creatures.
So yeah, like maybe one day Neptune will appear and he'll be made of all the sea creatures and like given form. But like the idea, I love the idea of the octopus. Obviously, you got the Lovecraftian,
right? But it's all of them. Like when he's a kid,
like a pufferfish, like, oh, kill them all.
He goes like, "The eyes of Neptune are ever upon thee," but like no one else can hear it. Only Namor can hear it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great. That could also, it's a great, like, it's another, again, of course, we're in like the age of retcons, a great retcon about why Namor is so cranky.
Yeah.
Such a dick all the time.
Because he's just like, so here's what's interesting about this, right? In this, you got the adult story going on, right? The kid's story is him talking about A, this voice has been in my head, and B, the way he would like escape it is a la the Little Mermaid. Like his grandpa's having like a dinner somewhere and they're like, where's Namor? And like, he's literally like at the surface, like there's like a fishing ship up there. And he would go to the fishing ship. They were from like, I don't know, Norway, Greenland. It was Greenland. And they would be singing songs and he loved the sound of it. It was amazing. But when he was out of the water, Neptune could not speak to him.
Oh.
And so like he was like, I could get the most peaceful sleep of my life.
That's fun.
So we get like a Little Mermaid reference. But hey, we're not done with our movie references, right? There's a... This got me so good. I was like, have Jason Aaron on to talk about this other movie.
Yeah.
It was, the silence of like their singing would only be when they slept, except for this one time when they pulled up a hall and it turns out it was like palace guards who had been sent to go find him and then they killed them.
Oh.
But when they pulled them up.
Yeah. Is it?
Ha! Taxidermy man's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what we brung him.
That's awesome. Taxidermy man's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him. Quint, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's freaking awesome. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's dope. I'm in.
Yeah, this series is like every time I completely forget it, and then within like 2 pages of reading, I'm like, I really love Aaron playing with royalty. It turns out royalty, gods, all of it. I'm here for it. And again, Aaron's strength to me is writing the individual character. Not that they can't have a supporting cast, but the individual character, not necessarily the team stuff. Like, so this is my bread and butter when it comes to Jason Aaron. So, yeah.
Well, we also read, did you read this? Ultimate Spider-Man number 9
sure
from
did, sir.
Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto. This is, of course, promising Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six, which, of course, is a lie. Instead, it's mostly about Spider-Man talking to various characters, reestablishing his newly formed and super tight relationship with Harry Osborn, the fact that Ock can't be trusted, and quickly establishing. It feels like we're going really fast. It feels like we're shotgunning Spider-Man lore as quickly as possible. Spider-Man needs a new suit. They're like, oh, we don't know. So, and it feels like it's kind of a little short. Like we're just kind of jumping to the idea that we're just going to give Spidey a cloth suit and we're going to move the nanotech suit away. And so the super Stark.
That's how you took that, huh?
Yeah, they don't like it. Like none of them trust it except for Peter. And
even
Peter's
I meant like you saying that they're moving it away quickly.
I feel like it's fast because we just established he's got the suit. I guess the idea is that like Iron Lad really screwed things up by getting involved because like they were just like everyone was like, ooh, Iron Lad, ooh, now we got to be careful.
So I would say yes, quickly for us, the readers, because it's only been one issue, but we see at the beginning of this, it says September, and we get the relevance of the success of the paper.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That didn't happen.
That also felt, we saw so many conversations. I wanted to see the paper rise. I wanted to see the paper be established.
I think we are.
We are seeing it, but they've already established that they're successful.
Yeah, but I think we're not worried about their success. We're worried about them establishing with the type of stuff that they'd like to write. Like they've gotten the success based on Peter's
Spider-Man
articles and images of Spider-Man, which I think is so funny because like Jameson's upset about it.
Yeah, he's mad because Spider-Man.
So
yeah, they both are unhappy because the readership is here for Spider-Man, but we want to write heavy articles, and Mary Jane, of course, is like, yeah, they're here. Write the articles.
Yeah.
Put them out there.
Yeah,
We have the audience.
I love, hopefully they don't do anything to her. I love Hickman's Mary Jane.
Hickman's Mary Jane is like the best Mary Jane's been portrayed in a decade.
She's just like, she understands the men in her life. And
isn't like she's so selfless.
Yeah, she's not like there to like get one over on them. She's just like, I know what I need to explain to them, and I know my business.
She is good at what she does, and she's like, that's her superpower.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, we are. You could see how this could become the Marvel universe again. You could see how, like, I mean, the paper is outperforming the Bugle. You could see Jameson take the paper over to the Bugle. You could see Uncle Ben die. You could see Jameson hate Peter as a result. You could see like everything could fall into place.
Here's the thing about that. Like,
I don't want that.
No, I know. But like right now, this like, because to you, it feels like we're going really fast. To me, this is like creeping up to something horrific happening, right? Because it's like, we know who owns the Bugle now, right?
Yeah.
We know the article the paper is trying to write.
Yeah.
We know the target that really put on those two, plus possibly Mary Jane, because now she's tied in with that.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
We're watching Harry
descend into his father's madness, because his father, of course, is an AI being. We're seeing Peter.
Well, it's not just that. We're watching him, like, yes, with the AI, but we're also watching the fact that, like, obviously, whatever Harry's relationship is with Gwen or what it was with his father, what his relationship is with Peter is like, he's like, I can't lose my friend. Like, this is my friend. Like, it's almost like he's never had a friend.
He definitely hasn't.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, we're watching him like be completely honest, but like a little scary about it. Right.
Yeah.
We're definitely laying the groundwork for a Doc Ock.
Yeah.
I mean, we had been, but now there's a couple of other layers to it.
And of course, Venom.
I know. Like, there's so much to this. And I'm like kind of afraid actually that Venom's going to go to one of the kids.
Yeah.
Because we're leaving the suit at home.
Oh, yeah, no. The suit's going to be waiting for them at home. I mean, Mary Jane could be Venom. One of the kids, obviously the boy is Venom. Yeah. But Rich, but I don't remember. I assume it's Richie because, you know, his parents are dead. But because he has to name one of his kids after a dead person. I don't know. But like, it's so precious and valuable. And by the way, is outselling the shit out of Amazing Spider-Man now.
Wait, is it actually?
Yeah. Because of course it is. Because it has a direction and a tone and a feeling, and it's written by a creative person. But anyway, this is it's great, but it's scary because it's so precious. I'm so precious with it, and I don't want it to be broken. But it's like same with Ultimate Spider-Man, like the original Ultimate Spider-Man. I was always like, oh, don't hurt it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, it's doing its own thing for sure. And Hickman's just walking this beautiful line of the familiar and comfortable and the I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
And you know, like and like you're just constantly waiting for that shoe to drop. Which is kind of nice because like every issue a shoe could drop.
Well, and that, you know what,
and they just keep putting more shoes up there.
Well, and the funny thing is like that you just hit on the core of what it is to be a Spider-Man comic book. The shoe could always drop. Now, and what's funny is, you know, like when shoes were dropping, you know, like when Stan was still involved in any way. I mean, obviously Stan was not involved really with the death of Gwen, but like he was kind of like, he didn't write it. It was Jerry, but like, they weren't thinking of it like that. They were just like, oh, what's the next thing, Peter? What's the next scrape? But like after a while, they were like, yeah, no, what's the next thing?
Right.
Who's the next one that's going to die? You know, how are we going to change things?
Yeah. So here's a question for you with the suits in this.
Yeah.
As having a way better memory of reading the books that you just recently read.
Yeah.
Unlike me. So Peter has the original suit, which is clearly going to become the Venom allegory in this. Did he have the spider sense then? Or does he only get the spider sense once the voice is out of his head?
Oh, that's interesting. I never really considered it.
Because he mentions
the spider
it
sense
here,
comes up
and
a lot.
like it really, like in this issue, in particular, it felt very much like he was like, "Hey, you ever have this thing?"
Right.
Like he's like, "What is that?"
Yeah. I don't.
So like, I'm just trying to remember.
I don't remember it ever coming up. The fact that it's illustrated on the cover suggests that this is the first time it's coming up.
Right, because like, you know, my understanding is Venom does not have a spider sense of any kind.
The Venom's suit doesn't trigger the spider sense.
Right.
But like not because of anything biologically, and Hickman will remember that because like, you know, he pays attention. But like the reason is because it spent so much time with Peter that Peter didn't consider the symbiote a threat.
Right.
So even though it became a threat, his spider sense was like, that's a friend.
Right. It's also good, honestly, to get him out of that suit, because now instead of him, when he does something, he doesn't immediately attribute it to the suit's success. It's his own success.
That's right. No, I mean, Peter is a cloth suit.
Yeah.
I mean, even No Way Home got that right.
Yeah.
But
I do like, we do get some fun quips about that, where he's like afraid if like it shrinks at all.
Oh yeah, no.
Mary Jane won't let him hear the end of it.
And of course the web shooters, which like the webbing looks different than it did when it was drawn with the nanotech suit. I am disappointed that Doc Ock invented the web shooters. I wish Peter did, but like Peter's,
But Peter doesn't have enough time right now.
Time's fine. He's got 2 kids. It's busy.
He's got 2 kids, and he's trying to help his uncles essentially start their paper.
Yeah. Oh no, it's true. I want to see Peter involved with his uncles before one of them dies.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to be crazy about it, Jameson's the one to die.
That's literally what I keep thinking is going to happen.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't want to see any of that happen, but
No.
I also just want Peter to have a good life. I don't really know him. I still am waiting for Peter's personality to click with me. Not that it's like it doesn't. It's more just like I don't really get you yet. You know what I mean? Like I understand that he's like an elder millennial where he's like, I don't know where I am. My life is so crazy. I've just been doing what the world told me to. But like, who are you? You know what I mean? Like, what do you value? We see it in this.
Yeah.
Where he's like, hey, we're not killing people.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Yes.
Like, why? But why do you think that? Like, that's what I want to know, why you feel that way.
Right.
I
mean, you'd have to assume what it is because like Uncle Ben's influence wasn't just a sentence. Or
no, it was a lifetime.
It was a lifetime, and so since he's now had more of that lifetime, it's just
like he's old enough to have had the talk with Uncle Ben. He's like he could have all kinds of conversations with Uncle Ben. He got married. Uncle Ben was there. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
And Aunt May was there. Yeah.
Oh,
it's cool. So yeah,
that means Uncle Ben probably he was like, let me cut in.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because Mary Jane's father definitely didn't go to the wedding because her father was like a drunken piece of shit. So yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, it's good stuff. Ultimate Spider-Man, and of course Cicchetto's art is phenomenal.
I love Cicchetto's Mary Jane. I like Hickman's version of Mary Jane. This is just a great version.
Oh
of Mary
yeah,
Jane.
no, I know. To paraphrase,
it's a great version of everybody.
It is. To paraphrase Frank Miller, the art is of course impeccable. It's a line from one of my least favorite Batman stories of all time, which has some of my like favorite and the most iconic lines in it. I'm like, what's happening?
Okay,
but yeah, good stuff. Of course, we have to pick a book of the week. What is our book of the week?
There's a lot of good ones this week.
I know. Special shout out to X-Force. It really like it clicked for me this week, and I'm happy that it did.
Yeah.
Green Arrow. I'm sad to see the end of Joshua Williamson's run.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Wolverine Revenge, but I got to give it to Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm just gonna hand it right over to Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man wins.
That is so fair. That is so easy for me to want to go and do that for sure. And Zatanna is incredible. I think it has to be Flash 13 for me.
Yeah.
It's just yeah. This one was one of those like I was like, I cannot wait for this. Like,
I agree
for this issue to read this issue. But yeah, I agree with X-Force as well that it's like it's just a book that just feels like it has a true handle on what it's doing, a purpose and a future. Like it's like, I know where we're going with this. Here's what we're going to be doing with it. And it just fits in with, I feel like with where it came from, like I said, with Krakoa, and honestly with what feels like what they're trying to do with X-Men right now, which is like, separate it a bit, but also make it kind of make you have nostalgia. And like I said, the episodic nature of each issue makes you have that without it being too beating you over the head with it.
Sure.
So, yeah.
People were asking about Uncanny X-Men.
I did not.
Forgot to read it. And I will tell you why. I know exactly what happened. It looked like an old book. The logo made me think it was like a reprint of some kind. Seeing Nightcrawler with a sword on his own, like in this costume and everything like that. I love Nightcrawler. I love his old costume, but like the logo and the coloration made me think it was a reprint.
Oh, admittedly, the reason I didn't get a chance to is because I realized I hadn't read the second one of it.
I did, and I dug it.
And like I said, like I was in a wedding this past week. I was in a wedding.
Yeah, you were integrally. You were like running things and being in it and wearing outfits.
For the past week, it's been nothing literally but that. So the fact that I got to read
anything
the ones that I
kind of
did.
amazing.
I think that this is like a full win for me. That is 100% a win for me, is that I was able to read any of it.
Yeah. I did leaf through it. I remember I have a friend who asked me who the hell a character was.
Oh, okay.
And so I went through it and I leafed through it, but I didn't actually I didn't commit enough
So
brain power to
and
have
that's
an
not
opinion.
fair.
No, I agree.
No, I meant like to leaf through it and then try to
and then go, oh yeah, it's good or not.
Yeah, we don't like to do that. We'd rather give you like
an actual thought.
Yes. Yeah. So I will go back and I want to read the second one because I don't like to not do that. Like I don't want to just grab the third one and have missed out because he loses it.
Exactly.
So, lose a little bit of the momentum.
But I do want to get into our super chats before we recommend some comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out. I'm excited. I also forgot to read Ninja Turtles, He-Man. I'm so disappointed in myself. I just forgot.
I'm disappointed in you too because I want to know about that. Wow. Remember that thing I said last week about how Marvel forgot about Robbie Reyes?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
no,
shut my mouth.
Yeah. So here we go. Bear Farmer says, I'm usually off, but I had to work today and it ran long. I totally forgot about today's show and it really boosted my mood when I saw the thumbnail. Well, thank you very much, Bear Farmer.
That's very
nice. Glad to have you back, buddy. Arduit, ComicPop Woo. Are either of you familiar with the Armory Wars comics that tell the story of the music of Coheed and Cambria? They're finally doing volume 4 this year. Definitely an interesting read. I've heard about it a lot.
I have heard about it.
Yeah.
And I do like at least one Coheed and Cambria song.
Yes. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we ran into them at a New York Comic Con one time. We have a friend who had a friend who loved them and gave us the spiel on who they were and Armory Wars specifically. And so, yeah, I'm familiar with it, but not enough to speak intelligently about it. He also says, any hints on Halloween back issues? Your guess is as good as mine. Let us know in the comments down below what you think we should do for Halloween back issues. Tiffany is going to obviously host one, and I don't think I have time, but we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely, we're doing a special Halloween episode. We always do. Hopefully, I'm trying to get it done soon. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Do you know? Do you have any ideas? Oh, great. Well, then you don't have to worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Stupid Sandwich, thank you for your generosity. I've been reading some old Captain America comics by John Byrne recently, and these books give me the ick. There's something about John Byrne's cap that looks like he wants to mouth kiss me. I made a gross miscalculation with this series. Yeah, I mean, Byrne's characters are pretty. And Cap is, especially Byrne's Cap, he has like a big grin. Honestly, like I attribute Byrne's Cap to Wyatt Russell's version of John Walker, where he's just like you know what I mean? Like just Chris Evans is gorgeous, but like Wyatt Russell has that Russell, like the Kurt Russell, like deliberate prettiness that's just like, that Byrne's Captain America always has. Always flashing those pearly whites in Byrne's books. Hulkzilla, at long last, the month of spooks is here. I'm looking forward to what you guys have in store. Also, hello to Papa Sal and Mama Sal. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Chocobo Kid, the couch will be gone. It's an end of an era. In the arms of an angel, you will fly high. Well, we'll see that. Well, the original, yes, the first couch is gone. And unlike, I don't know, like Phil DeFranco, I'm not going to like destroy it or burn it or anything like that. It's just going to go hopefully to some lucky person who's like, ooh, free couch. But no, the red couch continues to live in our house as a fold out for company, which I hope to replace one day. And if we do, I don't think we'll, I mean, if people care, that's also just going to go to the corner.
Goodbye.
But yeah, but the orange couch, maybe we'll
the orange couch only gets used like once a week.
It's true. Cat Lawyer will defend retreats couch is happily at a farm with other furniture. Exactly.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Josh Rowland, ComicPop Woo. I was so excited for Gotham City Year 1 on back issues. Back on my reread list. Can't wait for you to read your Terminator. Thanks, Josh. It'll be a lot faster to read my Terminator than Gotham City. But yeah, man, I feel like we sold a couple of copies of Gotham City Year 1. Fantastic. I'm very happy about that. It's always good. Matt Fisher, thanks a lot. Very glad to see a new episode. I almost died last week. I went in for routine surgery after leaving. I had to get rushed to the ER twice for emergency surgery. Well, Jesus Christ, man. I'm glad to hear you're still here. Thank you so much, man. You guys are a bright spot in my life. Thanks for everything you do. I can't imagine you using super chats given the American health system. So I'm surprised after that kind of hospital visit you had any money left over. But we appreciate you sharing it with us.
Thank you so much. And hear about
your troubles, but I'm glad you're out of it.
Yes.
I wish you a speedy recovery.
Story.
Yeah,
100%.
Jesus, man. Oof. Thank you very much, and welcome back. Jamzilla, hey, Comic Pop, sacrifice the couch to the comic gods. I don't know who they'd be, but I'm sure they have tons of straps and robot arms. Love you guys.
They
Thanks,
got
man.
Nothing but pouches.
It's true. Yeah. Pouches for couches. Justin Hope. Question for you. How was Donny Cates, Ghost Rider, able to work with Wolverine in the new Fantastic Four? I'm sure he has spilled a lot of innocent blood. Yeah, probably. I don't know. It's weird, right? I'm sorry. how does Danny catch Ghost Rider?
I was like,
not
Donny Cates?
I was like, Donny Cates do a Ghost Rider? Cosmic Ghost Rider. But no, Danny catches Ghost Rider work with Wolverine. I guess because most of the folks that Wolverine killed had it coming. I mean, it's weird, right? Also because I think Al Milgrom wrote that. No, it was Walt Simonson wrote it. It was drawn by Arthur Adams, inked by Al Milgrom. So, yeah, I don't think Walt's a big Ghost Rider fan. So I'm sure he just was like, I don't know. I just want to see him. It's just, I think it'd be cool. And he was right. But yeah, man, that's weird. Matt Fisher, A, Didio sucks. B, did you know Force works?
I've heard that.
And C, hashtag save the couch. Oh, thanks, Matt.
Do you know Force works?
I did know that Force worked.
But does Force work?
It does. Steve Cox, talking to crossovers, thoughts on Sonic and DC? I guess. I mean, like, I would never deprive any Sonic fan a DC crossover because those guys are vocal and many. And if they want a DC crossover, it'll only sell more DC books.
Right.
So I'm down. Glassman, I heard you hit 30K. That pleases me. That is all. Thanks, Glassman.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Bear Farmer, did you guys read Action Comics this week? Some quintessential Superman right there. I really had to stop and appreciate the fun the writer had. It was Gail Simone. I didn't read it. Sorry. But I will try to check it out. My Deke has hates sweaters. Salinator, where's the Milk Wars back issues? Hashtag don't lean out the milk. Never. Well, in a million years will we do a Milk Wars episode, and if we did, it would be Tiffany, because she actually covered Milk Wars while it was happening on Off the Rack. We talked about it. DC was very excited about it. Listen, we will do it on a number of conditions. The first of which is that we get 1 million subscribers. The second one, of course, is that Tiffany is able to work on this channel full time. The third is that Gerard Way will come on the show and be with it. Those are our conditions. You have your orders.
Wow.
Cora Valentine. Hi, SL and Tiffany. What's a comic grail that you've just never found in person? Mine's Wildstorm's Resident Evil. I can't find my wife, Jill. Please help. I've never seen an Amazing Fantasy 15 in person. I would like to see that.
Nice.
Or hold it.
I don't know if I have a grail.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. I have to think about that.
A Secret Boss. Have you guys seen The Penguin or Cape Crusader? I've seen the first episode of Cape Crusader, and we have not watched The Penguin.
I've also seen the first episode of Cape Crusader. We watched it together.
Yeah, we watched it together. That's what I'm saying. And Typical Spider. Hey, Sal and Tiffany. Thanks. Are happy to be at another live. It seems like the Picotech suit may become a sort of Venom or Ben Reilly hybrid character, with the suit becoming essentially a copy of Peter Psyche.
I like that idea.
Oh my God. Yeah, a little combination of the Clone Saga in there.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a great one.
So recommendations. Here we go. These are books that are coming out this week. Batman 153 is dropping. That'll be fun. Maybe we'll see. I'm gonna check it out. Zdarsky, Jorge Jimenez. What's it called? Absolute Power #4. Absolute Power is wrapping up with this final issue. Really fun cover. I'm excited. I'm down to see this.
I can't believe there's only 4 issues. I know a lot of it's going on in the other books.
I know.
So for me, I'm like, wow, that was a short event.
Right. Birds of Prey 14. Of course, we love Birds of Prey, or at least I do, and I'm excited to see more Birds of Prey. And of course, All In, the DC special #1. It's called DC All In Special #1, the flip book from Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson, with art by Daniel Sampere, Dan Mora, and where is he? It's Wes Craig. Wes Craig's name should be right at the top, because it's Wes Craig doing the Darkseid story and Daniel Sampere doing the Superman story. So yeah.
And what's Dan Mora doing?
Dan Mora, I believe, did the last page splash, but I don't recall.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really cool. Great book. I've read it. It's awesome.
You've read it?
Yeah. You got to pick it up, folks. This is the beginning of the new era of DC. And,
wow.
I guess the first true appearance of all
of these characters. I was just thinking about that.
Superman,
Absolute Wonder Woman. Yeah. So if you're like a person who likes to get a lot of first appearance issues,
this is an important book to pick up.
Throw this one on your pull list, folks.
Yeah. If you love Booster Gold, you're going to like this issue. If you like Darkseid, or if you like deep cuts and Darkseid, you're going to dig it. It's a really crazy action-packed.
Are all these characters really in here?
All these characters appear in the book.
Wow.
There are, because the Justice League, we established the new Justice League Unlimited, which is going to be a Mark Waid series. We established where that comes from, why, and of course, your local comic book store should be getting their copies of the Justice League ID card So check that out as well.
Wow.
At your local comic book store. Ask about it, and they'll make sure to deliver.
Fantastic.
But yeah, what else we got?
Go ahead. Are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Ultimate Black Panther #9 is coming out this week, so I'm definitely going to be grabbing that.
Yep. A beloved series by many now.
Really?
Yeah, people love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I feel like no one really like that.
No one's talking about it, but apparently, like those who do understand.
I love it.
Yep.
Just FYI, there's a new Storm book coming out this week, so if you want more Storm, there's an opportunity.
New Storm series.
Yeah, for sure. I know she's gonna be joining the Avengers.
She has joined the Avengers.
Yeah. So, but if you just want to see
the Storm
book or a book about Storm, go check that out. The Deviant #8 is coming out this week, so I will definitely be grabbing that because I need that in my day.
Yep.
Looks like we're getting a DC horror book.
Yay.
I'm not 100% familiar with the writer.
He played the Polka Dot Man in The Suicide Squad.
Okay. Well, he's writing Creature Commandos #1.
Makes sense to get some synergy in there.
Yeah, sure, exactly. So I figure I'll at least check that out.
Yep.
Given the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
The thing I was talking about before about Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider.
No one cares about Robbie Reyes.
Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes special #1. It's one of those Marvel Voices specials, so it looks like it's going to be. There's a bunch of creators on here that are not credited in the listing. But I have to assume, I believe, since it is Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month, that it's probably just a bunch of creators talking about Robbie Reyes.
That's
cool. I just thought that was so funny because like everyone feels like they've forgotten about this, and it's like, kabam!
They're like, no, we made one special about it.
Fine. Plastic Man No More #2 is also coming out this week. So if you liked, the Black Label, is it Black Label?
Yeah, it's Black Label.
Black Label. I just threw up because the
I know because they changed the logo.
I was like, what's happening? If you like the body horror story that is Christopher Cantwell and Jacob Edgar's Plastic Man No More, you can check out issue 2 when it comes out this Wednesday.
Yep.
Also, if you're a Jeff Johns fan, Jeff Johns got a new Image book coming out called Hyde Street. He's working on it with Ivan Rice.
Nice.
So
that's a great combo. I guess it's part of the Ghost Machine.
It is part of the Ghost Machine. But if you're a fan of those two creators, it might be something you might be interested in. I also want to make mention that, of course, X-Men is coming out. The Jed MacKay series #5. I kind of fell off of that book, I'll be honest with you, but I still want to remind you that it is coming out. Just let you know. Yeah. It's like, hey, this is your week, folks.
This is your week.
Is there anything else? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a really cool cover. The Boom Studios is putting out The Creeping Below by Brian Azzarello with art by Vanessa Del Rey. I don't even know what's going on in this cover, but neat looking.
It is neat.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we want to remind you folks that I'm going to be doing an in-person signing at Zap Comics in Wayne, New Jersey on October 9th, the same day that Absolute Batman and, coincidentally, the Terminator from Dynamite Entertainment is coming out. If you'd like to get a copy, go to your local comic book store, pick up a copy, and, if you're in Wayne, New Jersey, swing by and between 5 and 7 p.m., and I will be there to sign your copy as well. Of course, on October 11th, that's a Friday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific, Joshua Williamson and I are going to go live with a brand new live episode for our October month of All Stars. That is going to be like in real time, so you can drop in, say hi, ask questions. We will answer them. We're going to have special guests. We don't know who they are. I think Josh knows who they are. I don't know who they are. But we're going to have a special exclusive video from Skybound that we're going to drop. That's going to be fun. I'm going to learn how to do that. And so much more. Also, of course, Tiffany and I will be going to New York Comic Con. I will be there on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tiffany will be there at least Saturday.
Thursday and Saturday. That's when you're going to be there. The boys and I are going to be there Friday. So when you want to meet us, we're going to set up a little graphic that'll be out on social medias. And of course, that's a good time to remind you to go swing by youtube.com/ComicPop to follow the community tab or us on social medias, The Real Zoobs.
and so forth.
Yeah.
But if you want to watch Tiffany play video games, you can always do so at youtube.com at ComicPop Plays and twitch.tv/ComicPop. It's a simul stream, so you can catch it in whichever format you prefer.
That's right.
But if you do go to youtube.com at ComicPop Plays, you can also catch all the original streams, all the old streams, and more uploads of original streams that were on Twitch to begin with from years ago.
I will warn you, we're rolling into October. Tomorrow will be October 1st.
Yes. So it's going to get spooky. In fact,
it's not going to be super spooky. I can tell you, I know what we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you want to know?
I think we all know. But on
what is it?
October 8th, a special game is coming out.
Yep. So this week, I think I'm going to try to make it power through a replay of the original Silent Hill 2.
There we go. So you're going to play the whole game?
I'm going to try. It takes me a while usually to get through it.
Yeah, of course.
As I'm trying to remember puzzle answers.
Yeah.
And saving all of my bullets.
Yes. You do that a lot. Like you've done that before.
What, save all my stuff?
No, you've done.
I've done a playthrough. I know,
but not with this institution. I don't think.
No, I have.
Have you?
Yeah, it was years ago. Yeah,
I remember you doing it years ago, but I don't remember if it was part of
No. We did like that, but this is like this is a PC version of it. It's actually a cleaned up HD version of it. A group lovingly did this for nothing. They take no money for this because they can't make money off of it. It's a beautiful widescreen edition of the game before the remake comes out.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, I really should play something else. I really should try something new, like the new Alan Wake game that came out, or anything else that I have.
Well, this is a game that means a lot.
This is an unprecedented event that they're doing a remake.
They're doing a remake.
So to build
Team
up to Bloober,
it,
I'm like,
all
right, we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
well, that's it. We want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. Thank you to Dynamite for sponsoring today's show, or at least giving us an opportunity to share the Transformers 40th anniversary card set, which you can check out in both the live chat and comments down below this video. Check out the Kickstarter, see if it's right for you, and check out those tiers. It's a lot of fun. And I'm a sucker for that kind of like original G1 art from the 80s. It's really dope looking. So check that out as well. And yeah, I think that's it. So we'll see you guys next time with another episode. I am Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long. Oh, and stay tuned on this channel tomorrow for an episode of Elseworlds Exchange with myself and Tom King.
Ooh.
And I believe there's a new episode of This Week in Nerd History that is coming out. Yeah, This Week in Nerd History over on Dorkly, which just hit 4 million subscribers.
Wow.
I don't want to say it's my fault, but maybe it is. ComicPop bump. Just kidding. No.
It's great for them. Congratulations to Dorkly.
Right?
They worked hard.
They do. Yeah, no, and they got a nice bump after Lowbrow acquired them, and I was like,
that's fantastic.
Good
good for them.
Exactly.
Good for that studio.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. And yeah, I'm excited to have a vested interest in it now.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so long, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
Bye-bye.
Bye.